2017, October of 17, Tubbs fire. I was in my mother-in-law's car and the road was windy. I remember thinking, is this just the way her car feels, or is it really this windy? I got out of the car and I thought, it's awfully hot for someone to be using their fireplace. I smell wood burning. I put my daughter to bed, sent my folks home, and about 2 hours later, I got a call from my mom. So I answered the phone and she just said, honey, I don't want to scare you, but there is a fire. That's what that smell was. There's a fire and you guys might want to get ready to evacuate. It was so smoky already outside and the power kept going out. And I just couldn't understand what that was about. But I came home and I started calling people. I called my in-laws. I called my best friend and I said, we're getting ready to evacuate. You should get ready to evacuate too. Because at that point, I didn't know where it was coming from. I just knew that if it was big enough for my mom to call me and say, you need to get ready, I need to tell everybody else too. So I came back in and it was like, I was terrified and it was chaotic. And as soon as I kind of got myself pulled together, I went and woke up my daughter. And I used the same words my mom used on me. I don't mean to scare you, baby, but there's a fire and we need to get our shoes on and get ready to go. I got my car and we had just loaded up the dog. And then the police said, you need to go now, right at that very minute. I mean, the timing was just so critical. And it was, you could see like these, almost like, when you see little tornadoes, smoke, there was just smoke tornadoes going all over the place and branches flying through the air. I told Malia, go pray. You got to pray, girl, pray. And she was like, okay, mama. And she's in the backseat praying and I'm just like white knuckling. So that's where my, the stress tremor comes from. I have like an essential tremor that started that night. I think it hasn't stopped, but I get the shakes. There was no light in that day. It was black skies. Our friends kept telling us, don't worry, as soon as the sun comes up, you'll hear the planes come over and they'll start dropping the fire retardant on your house. Don't worry. There were no planes. We tried to go back and check on the house and we just drove up to just a wall of flames. When you see your house, it'd be nothing but like an ashtray and everything just absolutely mangled. And the only thing left standing were columns of bricks that were at the corners of our house. Just everything else. It was just gone. I just went, oh my God, we almost died. We could have died that night if my mom hadn't called us. We're still moving. We've moved 6 times since the fire. Driving back and forth from a hotel in Bodega at that time. It was like an hour drive, it seemed like, both way, each way, to go to meet with the different insurance people and, find out what are we supposed to do now? How do we put our lives back together? And our house is gone. Like, where are we going to live? What are we going to do? We were invited by a friend to come and meet Michael Watts at a dinner. We went and I met Michael and I just put my trust in him. I just felt like such love and support from this guy. Like, what is he doing here? And what? You're going to sue PG&E? Really? And they were so kind and they were so concerned about us. Have you got everything you need? Or, you've got a place to stay now. And, they were always checking on us and make sure everything was okay. And I always just felt like they really had our backs and they wanted to help us. We had the other thing come into our lives, which was that pandemic. So here I was, hairstylist of 35 plus years and no work. What am I going to do? I'm in full-time school to become a paralegal. So I have retired from doing hair and I'm now on my path to become a paralegal. So I can help people the way they've helped us. Some people will never be okay. Their story is always going to be the trauma that they went through, and they will live that way for the rest of their lives. And I hope that people get help for that because there is help. I may never be over it, But it's led me to a place in my life where I feel like I can be help to others, which feels really good.